What's up, you buttercups? It's your man BurialBoy coming at you with some more Destiny 2 content. We've got a lot of new information straight from Bungie, from the TWABs, and the weekly updates. A lot of new things we're going to have to keep into consideration. Things like weather. When have you ever jumped into Destiny 2 and had to consider your weather forecast? It's kind of looking like that's going to be a thing, so let's talk about it. Let's get digging. Hey guys, before we get into this, I just kind of want to plug this in here. Look, we're all gamers, okay? We all know what it's like gaming up through the entire night, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning after working all day, because realistically, that's probably the only opportunity you're going to get to do that until maybe your next day off. I mean, I'm a dad of 3 with 1 on the way, so that on top of, gaming, editing these videos, producing the channel and everything, the general consensus is I don't sleep. And more times than not, it feels that way. But one thing that's definitely for sure helped me out has been Maw Energy. I mean, it's really, the flavor profiles alone are incredible. Green Growl and Blue Buzz, I'm completely addicted to on an insane level. Plus the fact that there's no sugar crash whatsoever. There is no sense of crash. And you actually get some true focus from it. It's really what we all hope for in all these energy drinks that we spend ridiculous amounts of money on. Speaking of money, the price point is insane. It's awesome. And right now they're doing a promo giving everyone their first tub free, just paying for shipping and handling. And that's incentive enough alone just for you to give it a shot. But if you like it, want to use it more, click the link down below. Get 10% off your entire purchase order. Now enough of the shameless plugging. Let's get into it. So, my god, has it not been an information-filled last 2 days coming from Bungie? With just everything from the TWAB and the weekly updates alone, the new trailer released, showing a little bit more of Europa, showing the map of Europa. I mean, it's really kind of been what we've been asking for. We want to see more about what's going on. So I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, you've probably kept up at least a little bit and have seen some of the previous trailers. If not, I'll leave links down below where you can see the first 2 trailers, one being the Beyond Light reveal trailer, the second being the Stasis subclass reveal trailer. But just to kind of give us some preface into what I'm going to be talking about here today, I'll go ahead and let you see the newly released Europa trailer right here, and then we'll get digging into it.
What have you seen out there? Look beyond the frozen wasteland. Europa is a place of many mysteries. Do not lose your way. We all come to this moon looking for answers. What do you hope to find here?
Europa has been home to darkness for some time now. Its history could be the key to our fight. Help me unlock it. The deepest secrets of Europa are now within our grasp.
So, if you're a Guardian, if you've been playing Destiny and you really are a fan, if none of that gets you half-mass at all, if you're not getting at least a little bit of a Woody watching this, I don't know what's wrong with you, because this has got me really excited. I've been pretty happy so far with the 2 previous trailers, the Beyond Light reveal and the Stasis subclass reveal, and the in-depth look that they did on each Guardian class. I'm really excited. Just everything they've done and are doing to customize your Guardian more, to customize your supers and your subclasses more like that. I'm stoked. But this right here, first and foremost, your man Varix is back. And Varix, in my opinion, is one of the better NPC characters they brought into the game. The voice acting alone with Varix is fantastic. I mean, like, Varix is just a man. And we already kind of suspected that he was going to be involved in one way, shape, or form here. It's not new. I'm not the first person to say that, and I surely won't be the last. We kind of had a feeling for a little bit now that Varix is going to be involved. But now to see visual and audible confirmation that Varix is back and he's going to play some part of this story, I would think it'd be a rather large part, in my opinion. That makes me really excited, especially given the fact that the last time we saw Varix, we were not particularly happy with him. I mean, granted, he was under the influence of some pretty non-friendly characters, but still, I'm sure there are going to be some skeptical guardians that are going to be approaching him, at the ready. But still, I'm really excited to see Varix returning. He's a great character, and I love him. But now moving forward into this trailer, there's a lot to look at here. There's a lot of things that really give us some information and raise a lot more questions than we had before. There's a lot of darkness structures, a lot of ones that are materializing out of nothing. Now, I don't know if that's going to be something that it builds upon itself on its own, or if that's maybe something respawning. I think either way would be pretty cool. I'm wondering, maybe is that going to be something we see out in the open world? Is it a public event related? Is it going to be specifically for a certain story mission or a strike? I think that being something as cool as that is, I'm hoping that's incorporated more than just a single strike or a single story mission. And I don't see why it wouldn't, because they definitely could. They could really incorporate that really well, in my opinion. But there's that. A lot of these darkness structures across Europa that we're seeing here, I mean, they're just huge. They're beautiful looking, and the size, I mean, the magnitude of this place, I think is something that we're really not keeping in full consideration. I mean, if you just look right here, at this moment, when you see the Guardian riding in on the Nerf Sparrow, just stop and compare the size of that person, that Guardian and that Sparrow, to the environment around it. I mean, this place is going to be huge, and I'm really hoping that they do incorporate more vertical play, kind of how Anthem did, or how they intended to. May Anthem rest in peace. They really incorporated not just a wide, large open world area that had a lot of room to span across, but there was a lot of room to span and play with vertically, up and down. I think that would make for a lot of really cool gameplay footage, a lot of really cool mechanics, and you see a lot of Guardians kind of playing in different ways that we really couldn't before, especially with some of these subclasses, apparently, with you being able to build. This isn't Minecraft and Fortnite, thank God, but you can essentially reach new areas you couldn't before because of your subclass. So I would like to see a lot more vertical play. I think that'd be really cool. And to go along with that vertical play, I mean, just some of the weapons we've seen so far from the trailers previously and this one, like, for example, boy, look at this machine gun right here. I mean, clearly it's a machine gun. You get the drum on the bottom. You can look at the way it's firing in the little sequence we see it in the trailer. Kind of appears to be one of these slower fire rate, higher damage output machine guns. Kind of got an Amalon look, kind of like what weapons we were seeing back introduced in with the Taken King. Just the whole look and the whole appeal of this weapon, I'm really a fan of. I like it. I think it looks really good, along with some of the other weapons we've seen. I'm really excited to see what kind of weapons are going to be brought in here, as well as weapons, the enemies in this. Like, okay, for one, we knew the Fallen were going to be on Europa. We knew Aramis is going to be the main antagonist in this DLC, and so we expected that. That's not a surprise to us. We knew it was going to happen. But there is a rather large Vex presence on Europa, and I can't say I completely saw that coming. I'm in a sense kind of not surprised, because the Vex seem to kind of pick and peel their way into anywhere they want to go, almost. But I didn't expect it to be this large of a presence. I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, you can see in these many parts of the trailer, like right here specifically, look at this metric butt ton of Vex just in this one area. Like, why? Why are there so many? Why are they all here? Now, also here we see a lot of what seems to be platforming, and I hope that's something that's kind of brought into our gameplay a little bit more. It's implemented a little bit more as kind of platform puzzles. I think that kind of goes a little bit more also into what I was talking about with vertical play. I'm really hoping this isn't something that's just in a story mission or in one strike or only in the Deepstone Crypt raid or whatever raid they bring in after that. I would like to see more platforming. I'm a big fan of platform puzzles personally. I think that's why Vault of Glass will probably forever be my favorite raid. But the big thing that's really got my attention in this trailer, along with some of the other things that Bungie has posted, is this scene right here where we see Guardians walking through what seems to be a pretty rough storm, and this Guardian looks down their sight and identifies enemies in the storm they could not see previously. Now, we've got scopes now in game that have enemy identifiers on them or equipped into them, and I mean, realistically, we don't have much use for them right now. So we've got this here. We've got a lot of talk from Bungie, multiple mentions of things to do with weather. Now, right here, you can see that Bungie posted yesterday 100% chance of snow. Now, this little article, this update here, has a lot of really interesting points talking about storm systems. They want to introduce storms, actual storms into the game, actual weather movement. Now, they talked a lot about things where they want to make storms to be on command, not for us, of course, but on their end to be on command and almost kind of at random whenever they want. But they've done a whole lot of work into making it flow, not just to where we're just running around on a bright sunny day in Europa and then all of a sudden, bam, it's dark and it's blizzard. Right now, three different ways, three different, I guess, intensities of a storm. We have this right here. This is just another day on Europa. This is no storm at all. This is Europa, what it would look like without the new weather system. Clear skies, fresh snow, perfect skiing weather. Consider this the smoothest sailing you'll do on the icy moon. Now, even so, this is just a really cool looking area. Everything about this looks really cool in my opinion. But then we've got the next level, this right here. During a light storm, the winds pick up, snowfall increases around you, and it's largely aesthetic. The light storm blots out the sun and completely obscures the starry skies above you. This alone dramatically changes the feel of the destination. I mean, and you can tell that. Clearly right here, this in just comparison to the last photo you saw, there's a huge difference, and not just the picture itself, but the vibe of it. Everything about it, how it feels, is completely different. And then we've got the third. When a heavy storm hits, the sky heavily obscured. The wind roars and the snow flurries become even more violent. The midground is difficult to see, and if not for faintly visible silhouettes, it would be nearly impossible to navigate at all. Players are encouraged to stick closer to cover and move with intent. Stick closer to cover and move with intent. So how much is this weather really going to affect us? I think that's something that's super cool. And I did say here that they had played around with having the weather have effects on us. Things like pushing Guardians off of Sparrows or moving them because of a stronger storm, or having it affect things like grenade trajectory. And they said that after even playing with that for a while, that became a game of being impossible. It just wasn't fun. So we're not going to see a lot of that, but it's obviously going to have an effect. I mean, we're not going to be able to see. Visibility is definitely going to be a thing. I'm sure movement is going to be affected in some way, shape, or form. I mean, it has to be. Even our navigation, our map to be affected in a rougher storm. I think it's going to be really cool if that's something that they do. But this really reminds me of something, and I'm not the first to say this. I was thinking about this, and unfortunately, I did not make it to post it soon enough. So I'll post a link down in the video below where Aztecross, someone I'm a fan of, subscribed to for a long time, had brought this up. And I'm just going to go a little deeper into it about how this is done in Anthem. In Anthem, you could be flying in a storm and you get struck by lightning, you're going down. But also weather and environment plays a lot of different roles there too. I just want to go a little deeper into it. With Anthem, if you are flying and you dip into the water, or you go through a waterfall, or you go through a storm without getting struck by lightning, you're just getting wet. It affects your cooldown. It makes you able to fly for further distance because it's cooling you down. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see some kind of minuscule effects here as well with our Guardians. I'm not 100% sure how that could be done. I feel like there's a lot of different directions they could go. I mean, I really think that's going to deepen the value of Europa. That's really going to encompass the experience on Europa, and potentially what they may bring to further parts of the game. They might start implementing that into plans we already have, pretty much making our gaming experience that much more in depth. I mean, just imagine you're going to go to your directory and you go to select the planet, boom, it pulls up the map, and you can see weather systems forming on the map even. I think that would be really cool to see weather warnings and advisory warnings to Guardians specifically for certain areas. Maybe to see something like a certain type of enemy that's very exclusive to heavy storms in a stealth manner, picking off Guardians. Like, can you just imagine something like almost like a White Walker type thing from Game of Thrones? If we could see something like that implemented, just imagine how epic this could be. This is not confirmed from Bungie. What I'm saying now at this point about the enemies and the weather system showing up on the map and all that, that's all speculation. But Bungie's listening. They've made it very clear and very abundant. They're listening to the community, and that's one thing I do love about Bungie. They listen to and communicate with the community, and I really think that's something that they could do, and I really don't think it'd be that hard for them to do it. Now, one of the cooler things on this post, though, that they mentioned was about audio. Like, audio can make or break a game. So, in this post, in the bottom of it, title of it's The Sound of the Squall. They've given a little sample here of what just being on Europa is going to sound like. No storm, no nothing. I'm telling you right now, it's epic. So, I'm going to play the clip for you right here, and we're going to talk a little more. Okay, now tell me that didn't sound creepy as hell. I mean, oh my god, that's just awesome. That's just your base audio from Europa. And they've already said that we're going to be able to almost see and hear the storms building. So just imagine being on Europa, doing public events, maybe completing a couple of bounties. Imagine now hearing the wind pick up in your ear, start seeing the snow flurry starting to intensify in front of you, maybe having an alert come through your Guardian, warning a Guardian of a storm system approaching, or that we're approaching a storm system. And I'm really excited to see what they've done so far and how far they go with it. So, what do you guys think? Why don't you leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell me maybe where you think they're going to go with this. You think I'm right? You think I'm wrong? Do you have any ideas on what they could do, how they could implement this a little further? Let's start a discussion. I'm curious. I've got my thoughts. I'm kind of wondering what yours are. But if you've enjoyed what I've given you today, if there's anything I've said that's helped you at all, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like down below. Subscribe if you really like the content. Stay up to date. Smash that bell button. Let's make it happen. You can stay up to date with every latest video. And I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Remember, life's a grave. Just dig it.